Yeah, I think everybody has a come to Jesus moment if you're maturing as a person, which you should.
A lot of y'all out there need to come to Jesus moment.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rap Life Review. Now, Ebro is out this week, but it's all good because we're here to hold it down. We got a lot of big releases to talk about this week. New albums from YG, Kid Cudi, and Freddie Gibbs.
And our wonderful fill-in co-host, OG, West Coast homie.
Let's get into these projects. You guys want to start with the new Cudi album. So this is his 8th project. It's called Entergalactic. And he actually talked to Zayn about this project. Obviously, he's been putting out music for so long. Yeah. He wanted a little creative change on this one. Check out the clip.
The goal for Intergalactic, I was like bored of making albums, just like doing an album, 2 music videos, and that's it. And I was like, man, I went into this wanting to do something epic and different, And now that I've done that, I kind of, I've made a lot of music, man. I've said a lot, and I have other desires. I have other things I want to do. And, I do not see me never making music. Like, I always like around in the studio and make something here and there. But as far as like getting in the studio and working on an album, and then going and touring it, like I just don't have it in me. I don't have the desire. I have so many other things I want to invest my time into.
All right, so Eddie, you actually watched what is it? It's technically a rom-com, right? That's streaming on Netflix, Entergalactic.
Yeah, it's an ode to Black love in animated form, and it's stunning. It's kind of in the vein of the Into the Spider-Verse, Black Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and you're watching that, and artistically, it had so many creative liberties, and it interjected and infused so much Kid Cudi music. And the crazy part about it was how star-studded the cast was. I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, of course, Kid Cudi's in it, Timothy Chalamet's in it, Lori Harvey, Ty Dolla $ign, 070 Shake, Vanessa Hudgens, Jaden. Yeah. Is that how you say it? Harrier? How you say her name?
Steve Harvey's daughter?
Oh, no.
Not her. The one that was in Spider-Man and she was dating Klay Thompson.
You thought he heard Lori Harvey. Okay, go ahead.
Keep going.
Nah, but it was just a film about animated Black love, and stylistically
and shrooms, right?
You can obviously tell, like, Cudi was on something. It was like, yo, let me put together a movie and some music. But it was dope, man. I'm somebody that I love animation, and I grew up in, having an affinity for that. So seeing a film, and it's just cool to see artists, specifically rappers, taking these creative liberties that they weren't allowed to take before. With rap actually changing now, and it's kind of going in all genres, they're taking their creative liberties beyond just the music and doing it in film and TV and fashion and everything else. And to be honest, I was all for watching both the film and listening to the album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've definitely gotten a few visual albums in the past, but to your point, this is completely different. I mean, Lo, what do you think about this strategy? You've definitely been consuming music for a very long time. Like, if your favorite artist is dropping a separate like series that's, the album is a soundtrack to it, are you checking for it?
No, I am. And I like the fact that Eddie brought up that point of artists, exploring different options of putting their art on different platforms. And I mean, nowadays we have so many different directions where we can consume content. It's streaming, it's audio, it's visual, it's so many different directions. And I think Cudi used this to explore that. You have Netflix, which it doesn't have to coincide with the movie, but it can. Mm-hmm. And then you have the album, which can coincide with the movie, but however you want to interpret it. So to your point, yeah, it's dope if my favorite artist comes out with a project, a TV show, a movie, and then drops music alongside it. That's two of the best worlds right there. So shouts to Cudi for exploring those options.
Yeah, and also tying it back, right? Eddie goes all the way back to the debut album, right? Some of the concepts and the characters, which is pretty cool. So for people who have been fans for a long time, you could follow that thread, which is cool. So check out Entergalactic from Cudi on Netflix. And of course, the album is streaming now on Apple Music. The next project we're going to get into, you guys pick YG or Freddie Gibbs?
I'm going to take Freddie, That's just, I'm a rapidy rap, get off my lawn type dude, right? So it's just
all right, so you're the rabbit. Okay, we're going to talk about Big Rabbit.
I'm talking about the rabbit. So it's just like, this guy has been rapping for a very long time. And if you follow his career, you see his ascension lyrically, creatively. And when you listen to this album, it's just put together very, very well, from the features to production to the sequence to the content to him addressing, his beef with Jeezy and how it's not there no more. It's just like a lot of things that he just addressed and let off his chest. Then you have the features like Moneybagg Yo, Rick Ross, Pusha T. The list goes on. And it's just like, this is a very well adult rap album. You know, it's just very like it's an easy listen. It's sequenced so well. I was talking to one of the engineers on Twitter earlier this weekend, and he was just like, we put a lot into, you know, putting this together perfectly.
So the album is called Soul Sold Separately. Eddie, I know you have some thoughts on it, but like Lo said, I love the production, and I get a lot of, he said it a bit more eloquently than me, but a lot of grown men energy. I feel like Freddie Gibbs has been through so much in the past like decade that we've known him, and so like I think this one is like another notch on the belt, like a great album. What are your thoughts?
I think, first of all, we said Freddie Gibbs' name's wrong because anytime you're somebody like Freddie Gibbs, we got to say Grammy-nominated artist Freddie Gibbs.
Okay.
And to quote Freddie Gibbs himself, the first Vice Lord to be nominated for a Grammy since Michael Jackson.
Hey.
So let's get the name right. Let's get the name right, Big Rabbit. Here's my thing, bro. Love the album. You guys wax poetically about it. And some of my favorite tracks, I absolutely love Too Much with Moneybagg Yo, the sample flipping in that. And I want to give a big shout out to my boy Jake Uno, representing Seattle too. He produced Lobster Omelet. And anytime you throw Rick Ross on a track, it just feels opulent. And, you know, I think that's what Freddie Gibbs really does, man. He gives you the street rap, he gives you the gutter, he gives you those cocaine bars, but he also gives you like the grown man, the growth. And he's got the songs he's rapping about like all his baby mamas. There's something that's very obtainable about the Freddie Gibbs story. And if you look where Freddie Gibbs is from, he comes from the gutter, bro. Like somebody like Freddie, and not only
That's Gary, Indiana, right?
Gary, Indiana, not only his track to success, but how unorthodox it is. You're not supposed to have these older rappers that never, like, Freddie's never been a big artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's never been mainstream. He's somebody that came up under Jeezy, as we discussed, and it was always kind of lingering. But what he's been able to do over the 5 years, he even discussed him getting locked up in Europe and how he almost didn't get out of that. And then to be nominated for a Grammy doing an album with Alchemist to where we're at now, like these stories aren't supposed to happen for these 40-plus-year-old rappers.
I think he's one of the funniest rappers ever, like him and Vince Staples.
Yes, between the
like
two
it's
of
like
them,
a very specific kind of humor. I feel like they should have Comedy Central deals or something. So
Yes.
hopefully that's in the works. And the next album is YG, I Got Issues. Listen, I know we're gonna go to our Los Angeles
Yes,
correspondent on this,
please do that.
I want to pull up the track list for this one because I had a lot of emotions going through this YG album. When we're on songs like Baby Mama and Toxic, How to Rob a Rapper, I was not expecting us to get to like number 13, Alone, where he's sort of having his like coming to Jesus moment and talking about glorifying the streets and... What are you laughing at?
I'm not like I'm listening to you break it down.
Okay. You know what? Let's just go to Eddie.
Here's why I like the YG album, because I'm not going to YG to have his 444. And that's essentially what we got out of this album. It was like the YG maturing album, which I wasn't expecting. And then you look at the features, J. Cole, Nas, H.E.R, like Post Malone, like of course, like you're gonna have your Roddy Riches on there. But you could tell like he went in the studio and he really thought about his process of being a man and where he's been as an artist. And I don't know what the temperature is for YG out in New York where you guys are, but out here in LA, like YG is one of those guys. He's one of those figures. Like when the pandemic was at its worst and we were going through what it felt like a whole new civil like upheaval, YG was on the forefront out here representing, doing the best that he can. So people like YG, they're always trying their best, but for him to give us like this mature version of himself, and even sonically, I feel like this is a departure from the normal West Coast sound you might associate with YG. So I applaud him for trying to be outside of himself a little bit and maturing on the project.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a stretch. That's the thing. Like early in the album, I'm telling you, on songs like Baby Mama and like Toxic, I wasn't expecting where this album would end up. Even the last song, which I think is Killer Kelly. What'd you think about that? Obviously, he has a lot of love for his hometown, but then he's also talking about how much pain and suffering he's seen in the city. It's a good album.
Do you think this album is sort of himself looking in the mirror and acknowledging or addressing or confronting things of his past or just who he is or who he wants to be?
Yeah, I think everybody has a come to Jesus moment if you're maturing as a person, which you should. And YG, somebody that's been successful for I don't even know the years at this point. Like YG's been famous for like damn near 15 years at this point, if not longer. I don't know the math off the top of my head. So it's cool that, because some people don't have that come to Jesus moment. Some people are just kind of living that life and doing what they do. But as somebody as a father, somebody who's become a figure in his career, and he's probably like looking at himself and like, I want to put this, because this music is therapeutic for a lot of people.
There's a lot of artists that need a come to Jesus moment, but we'll talk about that later.
But do you always
course
want
you
it?
would
A lot
say
of us
that.
don't want those moments from some artists.
I'm
you
just
know?
saying, a lot of y'all out there need to come to Jesus moment.
All right, look, since we're always asking you guys to comment on the episode, it's only right that we actually dig into some of these comments. So let's get into two. We have two for this week. Mine is easy. I'm going to knock this one out really quick. Nadeska's trying to hate on Kanye's product so much. You didn't like it, cool, but don't say that it didn't sell well. Okay, yeah, I probably did say I did not like that one jacket because the jacket was ugly. I'm allowed to have that opinion. I do not remember specifically saying that it didn't sell well. I think I said I read a New York Times article where they were explaining delays in launching the product line and opening the stores. So that would have contributed to sales issues. I don't really care how much Yeezy Gap sells. But anyway, I will never talk about this again. Thank you for your comment. And now let's get to the real one. This one is from Vince Freeman. This one is definitely for Low and Eddie. The question is top 3 whole verses of all time. And I'm sure this is because I think Low said God Did as top 10 for you so far.
I said God Did was, if I'm naming it correctly, I'm saying it's top 5
Top
in
five, okay.
my catalog of best verses.
So
but
is that 5 and we're going to get...
that probably
5 ever, 5 just from Jay-Z.
Jay's 5 best verses. Of
Oh,
all
you
time.
thought he meant
Okay,
just
gotcha.
5,
No,
top 5 of
not
all time, all
You never know.
verses?
I will put this at 5. So the person that asked, Vince asked if we can go into our
Top 3.
Top 3. I'm gonna go with the Grammy Family Freestyle.
Okay, that went.
Then I'm gonna go with Imaginary Players.
Wow.
And then I'm gonna go with Where I'm From. First verse on
No
Where I'm
scene
From.
at all? No scene at all.
Nah.
Maybe that's number 4. That was 3, right? What would 4 be?
that
Let's
was-
just round out the
that
top
was 3.
5.
All right, so then I'll do DDA.
I don't even need 3, bro. I just need to throw, because Low, this is his lane. I love Jay-Z too.
Yeah.
But I need a special mention. Like, can we get like a asterisk
No,
Eddie selection,
no.
Seen It All featuring Jeezy?
Yo, Seen It All is a great verse. Like what he explored in that verse, what he detailed, how he wrapped it all together. I think that's what God did, and I think that's what DDA, like DDA and Seen It All are pretty much a baby. If they had a baby, God did would be that verse.
You know what didn't make sense? When he was on that H.E.R remix a long time ago, but that's a whole separate conversation.
I mean, we don't have to do that.
Eddie, are you
I'm just
ranking your
saying.
verses or
Where are your
doing?
verses? Like which? Because I know you're like you're the type of person like I never really heard Reasonable Doubt, so it's like.
No, don't play
Is
me.
he that type
don't
of
do
person?
That.
No.
Don't play me.
You weren't here. You weren't here that episode where he didn't listen to a specific album. Ibra went H.
I'll say it. It was Tribe Called Quest back in the day. I listen to it now. It's great. I love it. Back in the 90s, it was like a monetary decision. Like I had do I have money to go buy this
That's
CD?
true. Okay,
Sometimes
I
you
give
didn't have
you
the
that.
money. You know what I'm saying? Now streaming, I can listen to okay, you kids nowadays, y'all got it all. Gen Z, shout out to y'all. But us older cats, it's like if you didn't have the money for it, you just didn't get to hear it.
All right, okay. All right, get off the rant. Give me your 5 favorite
Step
home
off the
episodes.
soapbox, Eddie.
All right, home verses.
I'm just throwing Seen It All in there. You got it.
That's
you got
it?
that
That's
covered.
it?
I'm just, because you got it covered. I'm just throwing Seen It All
No,
in
nothing
there.
like Can't Knock the Hustle.
Wow,
like,
okay.
You know,
You-
444, The Evil,
Listen, man. I do.
Soul
what's
Cry,
the-
like just nothing.
Hey, I'm just gonna throw Smile in there from 444 just because you brought it up. My love Smile.
I
It's
know,
not necessarily his
Allure,
best verse.
PSA, December 4th.
Listen, leave me alone, man. This is your segment. You have it. You win.
You got it, Lo. Thank you.
Jesus
Vince Freeman, thank you for the
Christ.
question.
I got you.
Appreciate it. Guys, feel free to leave us more comments. Just please not about Kanye. Don't want to talk about that anymore. And before we go today, we do want to say rest in peace to the legend Coolio. He passed away last week at the age of 59.
Yeah, rest in peace to Coolio. And Coolio's somebody, if you weren't around for the 90s, yet again, we talk about stories with Freddie Gibbs, how unorthodox his rise to success was. Coolio's kind of in a similar vein. You got this dude from these LA streets. Like, Coolio was a Crip. And Coolio was one of those people that became a pop star. Coolio was making songs for Nickelodeon. Coolio's song, like his biggest song were for a movie soundtrack. So the success that Coolio had in the 90s, it surpassed just being a rapper. And he became an actual pop star, someone who's charismatic. He did a voice for like animated films and TV shows. He's even going to be in the Futurama when they make they're making a movie out of Futurama. His character is going to be in it. It's going to be one of your last opportunities to hear or see Coolio. And I just want people to put respect on the career that he had. Like, he performed with Stevie Wonder at an award show for Gangsta's Paradise, which is obviously a flip of his Stevie Wonder song. So unfortunately, we have to say bye to these rappers far too soon, because you feel like, that's pretty relatively a young age. But the career that he had, specifically in the 90s, is something that we'll probably never see again. So just to agree with you, rest in peace to an actual legend, Coolio.
Rest in peace. And that's it for us this week on the Rap Life Review. Of course, we'll be back here at the same time next week. In the meantime, like the video, add the playlist on Apple Music, and hit us in the comments if you want. Thank you for myself, Nadeska, Lowkey, Ebro, and Eddie. We'll see you next week on the Rap Life Review. If you were feeling that episode of the Rap Life Review, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have a question for us, leave it in the comments and we'll hit you back on the next episode.